Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first round of the Backyard Project Season 2 playoffs. We have finished up the tiebreakers during the course of the regular season. We had three different tiebreakers to run through. Sorry, my brain had to kick in there for a second to make sure I remembered those tiebreakers. But yes, we had two tiebreakers on the Sunny Day League side. That was in regards to, I believe it was the Ninjas and Reapers for first place, and then it was officially no, my apologies. It was the Highlanders and Jazz. No, I think that actually was correct. No, Mythics. Yeah, duh. My apologies. My brain is all over the place today. It was, in fact, the Mythics and the Kangaroos and the Highlanders and the Jazz, and then on the Clanky League side, it was officially the Robins and the Pioneers, of which, as you can see, the Pioneers finished up on top of that game. The Mythics beat the Kangaroos, which was the deciding factor for wildcard number 3, and the Jazz solidified their division lead, taking down the Highlanders in that tiebreaker game. You can see all of those right here. This has since given us the playoff tree that looks as such as you see on your screen right now, which involves a round one, which is we call the wild card series, and it's basically the worst division leader, and the three wild card teams have to duke it out based on their seeding to be able to see who advances to the next round. So we are officially up to the first round. We will simulate all of the wild card series, and then we will begin playing the division series live on Saturday. So let's just jump right into it. These are best of 3 games. So you get to throw every single starter and potentially your ace one more time, but most likely than not, all 3 starters have to go. So we're going to be seeing a whole bunch of teams and a whole lot of their starting pitchers. We're going to start off on the Sunny Day League side of the playoffs. We're going to be seeing the Mythics and Jazz squaring off to see who wants to advance to the round 2, and then the Marmots and Reapers are going to be our other squad today. So let's go ahead and auto-play all these games and see who wins. So the Mythics and Jazz had starters number 2 going today because they were both involved in those additional tiebreakers. So unfortunately, they will have starter number 2s going today, of which the Jazz will take game 1 9-7, keeping the game, almost giving it up though in the 9th inning, but they still close it out to take game 1. Big game 1 win right there for the Jazz. On the other side, the Marmots took down the Reapers. This is the 2 best wildcard teams. Marmots have been very good all season. That's Miller Mack taking down John Smoltz, 11-3. Your final for that contest right about there. The Marmots offense just absolutely taking it to the Reapers. Moving on to games number 2, and then also, my apologies, days off for the Sunny Day League. We go over to the Clanky League. Admirals and Cluckers, Pedro Martinez versus Angelo Del Vecchio, and then the Pioneers and the Captains going at it. That's Tim Lincecum versus Wasey, as we call him. And your winners for game 1s on the Clanky side are going to be the Captains by a 1-run shutout victory. 15 strikeouts by Wasey, being able to just quell and completely silence the Pioneer Bats, as they will take that 1-0 victory for the Captains. And on the other side, the Cluckers and Angela Del Vecchio out-duel Pedro Martinez, a 2-0 victory for the Cluckers, scoring 2 runs off of Amir Khan in the bottom of the 8th. So the Admirals up against the wall now officially with the series deciding game that they will have in 2 days. So we'll see how those play out. So Cluckers, Captains take the early leads in their series. Moving on to game number 2 for this wild card series, Jazz, Mythics, Reapers, Marmots. We're going to be seeing Gummy Bomber, Julie Dunkel, and then Sally Dobbs and Bad Boy Bubby. I'm going to check and see if the Jazz actually, if both of these wild card teams are ready to go for their aces. They are. So we're going to go ahead and swap them around. So the Jazz and the Mythics are both going to be able to be throwing their aces today because both teams want to win this. In regards to the other team that has an ace down, that would have been the Pioneers, and they did in fact lose their game, so they will be throwing their ace tomorrow to make up for that, although I don't think the Captains will have their ace available since he pitched on game number 1, so that will be the one little thing we have to worry about ourselves. But regardless, Fuller and Haber going for the Jazz and Mythics. Reapers, Marmots is Dobbs versus Bubby. Let's see if both of these two leading teams, Jazz and Marmots, can take these series 2-0. And at the end of the day, only the Jazz can. So the Jazz will take their extra inning victory. Pujols and Boom Boom McBroom hit homers. Silver Shorts hits his own solo homer as well, I believe. But a good victory for the Jazz. They will take this series 2-0 over the Mythics. So unfortunately for Mythics fans, they have been knocked out in the Wild Card Series 2-0. On the other hand, the Reapers absolutely stormed out of the gate against the Marmots today. 13-11 is your final. Definitely an offensive slugger or juggernaut game at this point, as Wolf and Kirkos both hit 2 home runs apiece. That's the third one for Kathy Wolf, by the way, for the just the wild card, just for these 2 games. She has been fantastic. So the Reapers and Marmots will have a game number 3, and the Jazz will move on to the second round. All right, the last thing we have to make a change for is the pitching changes here for the Pioneers. They're going to be throwing Al Johnson for their, they want to tie this up. They've got to beat the Captains, and then they have to beat the Captains' number 3 starter with their number 3 starter, so it's going to be tough. It's a tough decision and a tough situation for this Pioneer squad, but I have faith that they can do it. Cluckers, Admirals, Judy Abunza and the Cluckers looking to take down Crazy Train and the Admirals, force them out of playoffs. Cubby Virus up against Al Johnson, its Captains, and the Pioneers. Let's see if the Pioneers and the Admirals at home can get these back to even, and only one will. The Cluckers take down the Admirals 4-2. First inning, 3-run performance helps propel the Cluckers to round 2. So congratulations to the Cluckers fans. The Admirals fall short after having a very good season. A magnificent season for the Admirals, but it will be just not enough, as they will fall in 2 games to the Cluckers. On the other hand, it was a walk-off extra inning victory for the Pioneers on the walk-off run-scoring single off of Clinker by, I believe that's Jerry Springs. My apologies, Jimmy Springs hits the walk-off single in the bottom of the 12th inning to help the Pioneers tie up the series 1 apiece. So they will go to a game number 3. So we will have 2 3-game wildcard series at least. O'Malley got the win for this matchup. Clinker got the loss, and Al Johnson was in fact player of the day. He did manage to go 6 1/3 with 1 run given up on 8 strikeouts. So a good day for Johnson, kept the Pioneers alive, and that's all you can ask for Pioneers fans. They just need to be able to get to this coming Saturday for round 2. All right, the deciding matchup between the Marmots and the Reapers, Evan Screwball versus Ricky Vaughn. And I don't want to throw their aces even if they're ready, because at this point, you need those aces for round 2. And you just can't risk burning your ace at this point just to be able to get out of the wild card situation. So they're going to rely on their offenses. And at the end of the day, let's see who advances and who goes home. The Reapers do the reverse sweep on the Marmots. A 9-4 victory for the Reapers. They will take this wildcard series 2-1 over the Marmots as they outslugged them 15 hits to 6. So a great performance from the Reapers offense, spearheaded by Phil Nevin, and hitting I'm guessing, a grand slam for the Reapers, probably in the 7th inning. So a great performance for them. They even outperformed John Green, who had a 3-for-3 single, double, and home run performance. Almost went for the cycle at that point. But yeah, Reapers will be advancing. Your Marmots, unfortunately, are out of playoffs. So the Reapers and the Ninjas, both will be coming from the same division and in round 2. Those are both some of the best teams that Sunny Day has to offer. So we will see how that goes. And then the last wild card series game for this evening, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be the Pioneers at the Captains. Tim Lincecum versus Brad Radke. I don't even know if Tim Lincecum is supposed to be pitching at this point. It's supposed to be the number 3 pitcher at this point. It has to be Christopher Jimenez. Even though I think Lincecum is rested, I don't think he should be starting since technically he was game number one's starter. So unfortunately, the Pioneers do have to throw Christopher Jimenez, but he has been very good as well throughout the majority of the regular season. So this is a good matchup for him against Brad Radke. Let's see if the Pioneers can knock the captains off of into the water, off their decks, because that would knock out both the Admirals and the captains, and they'd be out. And wow, I'm sorry, by about the halfway part of the season, those two ball clubs were some of the best teams we had in the entire Backyard Project. So to see them both go to the wild card series and potentially lose would be rough. And your winners for the last wild card series, the Pioneers at the Captains. It's going to be the Pioneers. Christopher Jimenez had a good day. Brad Radke had an even better performance, but the offense of the Pioneers comes through in the 6th, 7th, and 9th innings to score 5 runs, and they take down the Captains 5-3. So that will lead us into round 2. And as we advance into round number 2, we'll go ahead and do that. These are your matchups for round number 2, ladies and gentlemen. The Cacti will be taking on the Cluckers at home. The Pioneers will be visiting the Frogs. The Lake Monsters have the home field advantage against the Reapers, and the Ninjas have home field advantage against the Jazz. Stay tuned. On Saturday, we will be playing the round 2 and round 3 playoffs. For all of these teams, we'll be watching them and seeing how they do. And then a week from Saturday, we will have the World Series for Season 2 of the Backyard Project. So stay tuned, everybody. There will be a lot more baseball coming your way. And I hope you guys are in the next round for your players.